Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for listening to From the Gate podcast, where we bring you game, good times, and genuine conversation. I'm Lisi.
Ses.
Let's get it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for listening to From the Gate podcast. On this time, we are going to delve into a couple of topics that are significant to February specifically. I mean, February doesn't really have no, I shouldn't say February doesn't have a lot going for it, but February's got Valentine's Day, they have President's Day, they have Black History Month, and so we're going to talk a little bit about Valentine's Day and Black History Month, maybe a little bit about President's Day, who knows, but February also has all the big sporting events, so like All-Star Weekend, Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, all that stuff always happens in February too. So even though February doesn't have like a lot holiday wise, but sports wise and historically wise, I feel like February has a lot going for it. And one of the biggest things about February that we always hear about all the time is Valentine's Day. And the whole, oh, this is the month of love. Dear Darla. Do you remember that from Little Rascals? I hate your stinking guts. You're scum between my toes. Love alfalfa. I mean, that's not the whole letter, but you.
Hey, remember all of the scenery.
No, my favorite line from Little Rascals is, you know, when they like get $1, they're like, I got $1, I got $1, I got $1, hey, 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 hey.
No, I don't remember.
Buckwheat.
I just remember Buckwheat's name and
Buckwheat's the one that sang that song. That made up that dollar song. Buckwheat over there with his little dollar be like, I got $1, I got $1, I got $1, hey, hey, hey. But speaking of dollars, love, commercializing love, and that's what Valentine's Day, a lot of people have argued, has become. It's no longer more so about love. It's more so about the commercializing of love. Like, oh, I gotta buy chocolates, I gotta buy roses, I gotta buy this for my partner because it's Valentine's Day and they're expecting me to show them that I love them on Valentine's Day above every other day of the year.
as you should. Yeah, right.
But love is something that should be celebrated every day, not just Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Well, you should have said that to whoever invented Valentine's.
And you know, the history of Valentine's Day actually comes from Saint Valentine, the Roman Church, because Saint Valentine, he actually got executed by the Catholic Church.
Ouch!
Yeah, because
Timber.
he got executed by the Catholic Church because he was marrying soldiers in private, because at that time they weren't allowing soldiers to get married because they didn't want them to be distracted while they're on the battlefield.
Oh wow!
So in order to create stronger soldiers, they were trying to stop them from getting married and stop them from starting a family and all that.
Wow!
And so Saint Valentine started to Saint Valentine. So Saint Valentine was starting to, he went against the Roman Church's decree and was marrying these soldiers in secret. Well, the Romans, yeah, and so they were like, off with his head. No, just kidding. I don't. But that's the origin of Valentine's Day. So that's why they call it Saint Valentine's Day, is because it's named after the patron saint of love, and he became the patron saint of love because for him, he was like, love is more important than war. And it's more important for these soldiers to have love and have a purpose and have something to fight for versus just being
did
like,
it come then where it had to be red and pink and chocolates and
thank you, America.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Dang.
more of an American thing to have like the hearts and the chocolates and roses and all of
which is
this.
which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, but St. Valentine's Day
I
was
mean,
originally created to honor the patron saint of love, which is St. Valentine. But that's like the history of him, and so but I think it's true. Like I love what that saint stood for. How he stood for at a time where it was illegal basically,
to
or it was prohibited. I wouldn't say illegal. I would say it's prohibited for soldiers to get married and to want to start families because they had to have all their devotion towards their country, who they were fighting for. But instead, he was like, no, it's important for these people to have that companionship, to have someone in their lives to be willing to fight for and to have that purpose. Because St. Valentine believed in families and he believed in the establishment of families and how important it is for men to have that in their lives. You know what I mean?
right.
And so that's why he married these soldiers in secret. And then he ended up dying for it. But he ended up dying for love, literally.
Wow.
Because he was fighting
What you
for the
do
institution
for
of marriage.
love, and you come back with nothing. What you do for
Sorry, you
love?
experience or
I'm singing a song.
But yeah, so Valentine's Day has just become kind of like this commercialized holiday. A lot of people feel like, to where it's like now so focused on
Hawaiian.
it's people just focus on like, oh, Cupid with his little bow and his little arrow, and that's what Valentine's has become. Valentine's has become all about yeah, all about cupids and hearts and little bows and arrows
It's
and
okay. There's nothing wrong with no Valentine. Who doesn't like a life of box of chocolates?
you never know what you're gonna get. Like that's what's his name? Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
But yeah, and so the thing that made his thing so famous is he wrote a letter to his jailer's daughter before he was executed, and
Jeez.
he ended the letter with "Your Valentine," and then the very next day he died, or they killed him. But yeah.
Catholics. Bastards.
And so that's the story of Saint Valentine,
Wow.
because he was yeah, because he was ministering to Christian soldiers, and he was trying to save these soldiers, and he also
He
wanted them
got
to be
executed
married.
for. Dang. You betrayed the country.
You betray the
You
country by
son of a
marrying
con.
these, by allowing these people to get married. So
You betrayed the country. Now you have to pay with your life. You'll notice? You have to pay with your life. Dang, that's crazy.
but it's just interesting how like Valentine's Day has become so commercialized. It actually started becoming commercialized like in the 1800s. That's when they started doing the whole roses and chocolates and everything. And
What?
yeah,
Dang.
but if you like look at, I don't know, just what are your thoughts? Like you being like a person that has, for me, I love Valentine's Day. I love love. I love the idea of love. I love the thought
I'm
of
not a
being
big
good
fan.
and like giving to other people. And
I mean, there's nothing wrong with giving. I mean, you can give any day, any time, but I mean, like the fact of, I don't know. I've never really been a fan of Valentine's, actually.
really,
To be honest, no. Like, no. Not, through, growing up and stuff like that as a youth, yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, you got to, right? Because you have to, in school, hey, mom, daddy, I had to cut the candy with the one for all of the classroom.
oh man.
But, I don't know. I mean, I got the hot. I mean, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. But do you know that like Valentine's Day was actually originally celebrated as like the beginning of spring? Like that's when
Yeah, that's what I always thought it was.
yeah, Valentine's Day was always supposed to be originally. It was like the celebration of the beginning of spring and beginning of newness and birth and all of that jazz. And then all of
Mm.
a sudden it turned into celebrating affection towards one another. But love comes in so many different forms and so many different ways, and there's so many ways that we can show that we love people and that we show that we care for other people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it, but whatever.
Moving on to the other notable February inspiration. Yeah, for Valentine's Day, I used to be that one person that wants to give like Valentines to all my friends. So I would like
Huh?
I was
No,
that
no,
person
I was
that would
no, I was
give
gonna ask
Valentines
you
to
a
all my
question.
friends. What?
I was no, never mind. It didn't mean anything with what we're talking.
Oh. Oh, got you. You want to sing your song again?
An appreciation. You get it every day. Fa la 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 la.
Fa la la la.
Yeah. Anyways, Black History Month.
So, Black History Month, the theme for this year's Black History Month is African Americans and labor. And that comes with Trump's policy that he had put into, or he had signed when for diversity, equity, and inclusivity policies to be removed. So the reason why he says that is because he wants it to be merit based instead of it being based on the color of your skin. Like you getting a job because of the color of your skin. And so, in a lot of ways, I do agree with that. But in some ways, I feel like it is important to have those policies in place in order to protect, like, people of color who might not get into those jobs based solely on merit.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Which is why those policies were put into place in the first place by the Obama administration because um, when Obama was president, he saw that there was a lack thereof. And so that's why he wanted the workplace to be more diversified, which is why he put these policies into place in the first place.
Mm.
And since those policies have been in place, it has helped a little bit in allowing for people from different nationalities and different ethnicities to be able to be placed in or to be recognized for their work. Some have taken advantage of it, others have actually worked hard, and this year's Black History Month is focused on African Americans and labor and how they have contributed to the workforce, the American workforce that we see today, and how um, just how they have helped to build the America that we know. That's what they're focusing on, and the National Association for Colored Peoples are working really hard to try to get these diversity, equity, and inclusivity policies back into place in order to protect those who are colored people from either losing their jobs or being like taken out of these jobs um, because of the color of their skin.
Mm.
And even though like Trump has done his presidential observance, like, oh yeah, I want to thank, um, he actually thanked African American patriots for their service to the U.S. and how they have helped to build this country to what it is because of their service to the country. And then he went on to thank those in the workforce who have labored in order to build the America that we know today. And then in the same it didn't come from Trump. It came from like the Department of Defense, to where they want to remove um, federally sponsored cultural observance programs. So instead of the government paying for these celebrations to be had, the organization themselves has to pay for, like, if you want to celebrate Black History Month, that's going to be on your dime. If you want to celebrate Pride Month, that's going to be on your organization's dime. It's not going to be on the government's dime anymore. Which I think is good, because if it's something that you truly want to celebrate, and if it's something you truly believe in, you're going to invest in what you believe in. You're going to invest in the things that you want to do. And I don't know. I agree with it, because I don't think it's fair that U.S. tax dollars do get put into observing like Holocaust Day or Women's Rights Days or like those types of things. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, look, the Native Americans, they don't even have their own month. They have a Indigenous Peoples Day that they get celebrated on. That they only have like 1 week to celebrate the Native Americans, when this is their land originally that was taken from them. But that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother story. And so, going back to Black History Month, I do think it's awesome that they are wanting to fight for those diversity, equity, and inclusivity policies to be put back into place. But at the same time, I do feel that it's also important for it to be merit based, and to be based upon the work that you've done and what you have contributed, and not it just being based off of, oh, I have to do this, or I have to have this person work because of this certain thing or that certain thing, or but it's based off of, can this person do the work, and is this something that they're able to handle and contribute to the company. And so, I don't know, there's a lot of like, it's not black and white. It's very like gray areas. But I do think that it's very important that we do, there's a lot of struggles that have been fought for. And with I still think it's a trip that they had the inauguration on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. But
Why?
because they could have chosen to do it on any other day except for that day.
Really?
I think so. Normally they have the inaugurations like early on in the year.
Oh.
But they were waiting for Trump's trial, so
Murder was the case that they gave me. No,
they were waiting to see if Uncle Trump was guilty or
guilty.
before saying if he was the
Guilty of loving you.
before he was reinstated as president of the U.S. of A. But
Trump is a gangster, though. No, I think this time around he's. I think when he first ran, I was like, bruh, take it easy, sir. Take it easy, sir.
oh man,
Cause man,
Trump is a trip.
yeah, he is.
Trump is a trip.
That dude is a trip.
But you know what? I
Like,
think he.
fucking hey, man. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Fucking cowabunga, man.
Trump is a gangster, man.
But yeah, that's the month of Feb, huh?
Yep, that's the month of Feb. Month of Feb is Black History Month, and then this month they are honoring the workforce, the African American workforce, and their contributions to society, and how they have brought forth a lot of, or how a lot of America was like built off the work that African Americans have done for this country.
Well, you got to think about it too, though, man. If you are really true, you have to do your own research. You got to do the work. You can't be opinionated and not go and do the work, or especially if you don't vote. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, with that, I mean, that's how I feel. Like you got to go. I mean, I don't know. You just got to go do your own research to kind of understand what you up against or what you fighting for or what your beliefs are and what you disagree on.
Right.
So get your little ugly ass, get your little smartphone, and then do the researcher on the Google or the Discoveries channel.
But I think it's cool that they do honor the workforce because, like, yes, they came like in like the back in like the 17th century or whatever. They came here as as slaves, but they fought for their freedoms. They fought for their rights to be seen as
They were brought here
equals.
unwillingly. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and so, but they fought for their rights to be seen as equals, and they worked hard for
But I
that
mean, yeah,
to be
you know, this
recognized
is
as that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you too dark, man. Nigga, no, just playing.
You look like a little barbecue over there now.
Oh, buck feet, yeah, they know I'm just playing.
But like people like Martin Luther King Jr., even like Barack Obama, Thurgood Marshall,
Yeah,
all these like African Americans who have like greatly contributed to society in order for America to be more equitable
right.
and for the society that we live in now to be more equal.
Hmm.
And we have seen it. We've have seen progress in that sense, and we have seen steps in the right direction.
And like, if you want something, man, like the way I look at it now, I mean, it's like you got to control what you can control. If you want something, go out and work for it. Period.
Mm,
You know, if you want to do anything, get anywhere, create something, change something, go out and work. Go out and work. I know we don't always like them dirty jobs. We don't like to do this and do that, but like, hey, a job is a job for now, and then you're there, and then until you find a better job, and then you do that until you find, and then by then, you know, you got savings, or you saved up a little bag or something, and there you go. Now you can, you know, do some things. Maybe fly here, fly there. I mean, you don't know until you try. You can't knock it until you try.
right.
So that was how I was raised. So you can't knock it until you try.
That's the
You know,
one.
you got to take risks. If you scared, go to church. If you
If
scared
you
of
was scared,
church,
mother, go to church.
you know. But no, I mean, without I know we're just joking around and stuff. But if you want something, you want to do something, you just got to go work, bruh. I mean, if you try doing that, I mean, when you out there just grinding, you know, then you feel a little different. I promise you'll feel a little different. Get you some change, man. You gonna feel a lot more better different. You're gonna start moving different, start feeling different, start treating people different, and then you get the same thing back. What you give is what you get back. You know what I'm saying?
That's the one ton right
But
there.
I mean, and not only that, I mean, you just gonna. I don't know. I mean, that's a little too deep for me to go personally, but if you want something, you want to change something, just go work. Get yourself a
That's it.
job, whatever it may be. Hey, you might not like it. No, none of us don't get the first job we like, right?
Right.
So get you a job that you don't like or whatever. Hey, at least you get hired, you work, boom. Till you find a better one, boom, next one, and then boom, you might get promoted. Oh, there you go. Then you feel different, boom. You know, then it wakes up all the senses and all the right brain cells for you to change anything you want in life.
Mm,
Period.
right.
And just be thankful. You know, it could be a lot worse.
That's true. It could.
You know, that's it. Uh,
But tell us, guys. Tell us what it is that you guys think about. What do you guys think about the DoD, the Department of Defense, cutting off these identity celebratory months and days? Like, do you think that it's cool? It's do you agree that the government shouldn't have to pay for all these cultural observances, or do you think it's something that the government at least owes to the people to be able to celebrate their cultural observances, even though they don't like observe all the cultures that are within the US and they only have like certain ones that they do. What are your thoughts? Let us know. Let us know what you think about these diversity, equity, inclusion policies. Or if you got plans for Valentine's Day, what's your plans to be able to wine and dine your lover lover? Or if you don't got no lover lover, what kind of plans you have to wine and dine yourself? You know what? Some of my like solo Valentine's dates, some of the best dates I've ever been on. So just saying, if you ain't got no lover to celebrate Valentine's with, solo dates is the way to go, man. Sometimes those are the best ones.
Right.
And if you need solo date ideas, feel free to
give Lissy a holler.
I got some for you.
She'll help you out in that area.
Maybe I'll post some like on our socials or something like that. But yeah, just saying. Valentine's Day, don't be afraid if you're single. If you single, or if you double.
Everybody.
Tell us your thoughts. Let us know what you think. Ses, you got anything else to add?
No, that's it. Let us know, man. We're on all social media platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Halaban, Jelagan, and Falaban. We're on all the guns.
Follow us on our socials. You can find us at From the Gate on all social media platforms. Check out our website, fromthegate.com. I'm your host, Lisi.
Ses.
Deuces.
Gia.